Say this with respect. You've committed a lot of time, a lot of energy to this physique development game, yet you still don't look like you've picked up a weight, and here's why. See, I help guys get in the best shape of their life, resharpen the mind, and take back control of their identity without sacrificing their health in the process. Because most of you guys get it wrong. You guys think you have to push things to extreme to get results. When in reality, this is usually why most of you guys end up burnt out, back to square one. One of my clients, Aaron, went from being burnt out and lost to literally looking like he lifts again within 10 weeks. And this was a guy, probably like yourself, boozing most weekends, eating shit every day, fueling yourself, tanking your health, without realizing. And this guy was the same dude what was running his own business, seen as a leader. Now, we both know that's not what leaders do. They wouldn't give themselves that kind of fuel.
So, and do you know what? I expect more of myself now. I respect myself more, and I hold myself in a higher regard. So that's a massive thank you to you. What's it, mate? I'm only 6 weeks deep. It's nuts. It's nuts.
So, despite his experience in the gym, we knew it wasn't an effort problem. What his problem was standards, because he wasn't new to the process, or at least mine anyway. What he needed to do is be held to higher standards and realign it with the person he's trying to be. So if you've been in the gym for years, you know the basics, you know how things work, right? So it's clear the problem isn't effort. You don't need a random program. You've probably had plenty of those made up on ChatGPT. What you need is, you need a system that respects your health while leveling up, and also being held to high standards, because if your health can't handle the workload, this is where progress starts to stall. This is where my method comes in, the Kaizen triad. This is a 3-pillar system that is designed to build a physique that actually lasts, because everything works together. First, we have the foundational health. This is the internal side. This literally dictates how much stress or load your body can tolerate throughout this process. Secondly, we convert health into output. This allows you not only to move better and function better, but allows you to build more stress resilience throughout this process. This also allows us to dictate when to push and when to pull, including the likes of our resistance training as well. Only then do we focus on physique development and identity, shape, structure, proportions, the athletic look. Now, this is where I generally believe the likes of your confidence and standards really start to dial in, because when you combine all these things together, you don't just look like you lift again. You look like a guy who has standards, operates 100%, and actually has control of his actions. Let me give you some context here, because believe me, I have lived both sides of this. I have been the guy, super skinny, then go on to chase nothing but size, taking a cocktail of androgens, thinking that was the right decision, to then want to step on stage, be a bodybuilder. And I went through a process which definitely turned a new page for me. I did what most guys do in this process, just do more of everything. More training, more restriction, more cardio. And that was about 18 weeks into this prep. There was a few red flags, but as you do, you just ignore it, keep doing the do. And I ended up losing 10 kg in a week. In a fucking week. Which wasn't because I got leaner. It was because my body, my system got to a point that I couldn't tolerate the stress anymore. And this made me realize that most guys don't get taught this, that doing more of everything doesn't equal better response, especially when your health is not in a position to tolerate or handle that stress in the first place. And this was my wake-up call. See, that moment right there, that sent me down a path of understanding health on a deeper level. Not just to look better, but how to perform, recover, and progress long term. So here's how this process actually works. First, we have physiological priming. To me, this is the most important phase. Why? Because if your metabolic health, digestion, hormones, and even energy availability isn't functioning 100%, regardless how hard you train or how motivated you are, you're just not going to make decent progress. When the likes of these things are dialed in, you can imagine you get a better return on investment. You become more responsive, you become more resilient. And this is what you want throughout every phase you enter. Second comes the precision performance layer. This is no guesswork. We track real output, we build real progression, and we implement real structure. So you're not just training your nuts off for the sake of it, you're doing things with intent. And we use performance markers and recovery signals to decide when to push and when to pull. So fatigue becomes our feedback. It's nothing you should ever be scared of. And this is where most guys go wrong, and they end up burnt out, stuck, or repeating the same phase over and over again. And then lastly, physique development. We ain't chasing size at all costs here. We're trying to build a physique that reflects health standards and performance. And then we're going to be training with accuracy and intent, getting the most from the least. As a result, you're not going to look and feel like a fragile bodybuilder that I once was, but have an athletic, capable build that functions properly. Now, by this point, most guys are well and truly frustrated, not from their efforts, but what they're not getting in return. Asking themselves, am I doing enough? When am I going to break this cycle of looking the same every year? Am I doing too much? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Constantly asking themselves things. Am I doing the right thing to actually get to this desired goal, to look great? Now, you see, the real problem isn't motivation, or is it effort? It's that the process is misaligned. And this is exactly why I built the Kaizen Triad framework, to help guys stop spinning wheels and actually build a physique that compounds. The Kaizen Triad doesn't just change how you look, but it's built to help you build a physique while preserving health. Not sacrifice health to look good. That just doesn't make sense in my eyes. And build stress adaptive performance that holds in real life. And reinforce an identity that matches the standards you live by. That, my friend, is the Kaizen Way. Now, you may be wondering, how does this all work? Now, this is a one-to-one process with myself. This is tailored to your lifestyle, your needs. So all you have to do, my man, is just execute. But here's the reality. Or you can keep jumping from plan to plan, what doesn't respect your health, pushing harder, doing more, and yet still see no change, feeling like a dead battery. Or you can do this properly. So if you're done spinning wheels and you actually want a system that compounds from your efforts, DM the word Kaizen or reach out and we'll get plans in motion.